I'm excited to check out the D36. You know, on the market, there's quite a few now of these flat-sided plumb bow boats, but D'Antonio kind of switched it up a little bit by providing a cleaner aesthetic. So it's an outboard boat, but you wouldn't really know it. So we gotta dig into that a little bit later.
And in Spanish, there's a word called picante. Picante means spicy. You'll find today, I do believe, that this D'Antonio 36 has got some good spice to it. We'll show you as we go.
For Boat Test, I'm Captain Shelley.
I'm Captain Eric Brandon. Let's start our performance and testing evaluation right now. The D36 won the European Boat of the Year in class in 2023, not only because of her striking styling, but because of the brilliant hull design that solves several problems with outboard-powered boats. Plus, she's a 36-footer with a tender garage. Stay with us to see some other unusual features in this D'Antonio 36.
Well, I don't know about you, Eric, but I'm really glad that we have this full windshield today. It would be pretty chilly out here without it.
That windshield's massive.
To my mind, even more important than the double-stepped hull are the port and starboard hull extensions that lengthens the boat's bottom, providing buoyancy to support the 1,400 pounds of iron on the transom. Note how level she runs at all times.
The D36 cuts right through these slight rollers without any bumping. And that's because her dead rise is about 50 degrees where the bottom cuts through the short chop.
But realistically, she's a solid build. I feel comfortable in the water.
The visibility of the bow is just expansive. There's nothing blocking your view at all.
We're running right now at right around 4,000 RPM. We got about a foot, maybe a foot and a half chop. That plumb bow and those straight sides really pushes the water out and away. So we got a little bit of spray, but I think that was more due to the wind than the hull shape.
The D'Antonio D36 is a length overall of 37 feet 7 inches and a beam of 11 feet 2 inches with an empty weight of 9,920 pounds. Our test boat was equipped with dual 400 horsepower Mercury V10s. We carried a full load of fuel, which is something we don't often have, so you'll get a good feel of how this boat performs, weighing about 13,600 pounds. Our top speed came at 6,000 RPM, and we hit 49.1 miles per hour. Obviously at half load, she ran over 50 miles per hour. Best cruise came at 4,000 RPM, we went 26.8 miles per hour, burning 21.8 gallons per hour, a range of 248 statute miles, with a 10% fuel reserve. The D36 planed out at around 3,500 to 4,000 RPM and 20 miles per hour. She reached 10 miles per hour in 4 seconds, 20 miles per hour in 6.5 seconds, 30 miles per hour in 10 seconds, and hit 40 in 13.5 seconds. The boat's bottom design at the stern virtually eliminates bow rise when getting on plane. We normally think of sponses on the side of the hull, but these sponses are extensions of the hull that add buoyancy for stern lift and longer waterline for speed.
At the helm, there is a compass center line to the tilt base steering wheel. On starboard, digital throttle controls and the joystick piloting for outboards. All the way outboard is the VHF, still within easy reach. With the SimRide displays, those are 12 inches and they're MFDs. And then right below that are all the tactile buttons, including buttons for that electrically actuated sunroof up above. Fusion head units, bow thruster controls. There is a little cubby for phones and there's power in there. And I always like to see an analog fuel gauge down below. And above that is the zip wake.
Zip wake takes the place of traditional trim tabs, and it's really very ingenious. You can put this on auto mode. It'll level your boat and feel the difference in weight on each side and keeps your boat steady and flat and level the entire time. No touching it. Again, taking away those traditional trim tabs that people step on. They get the way they're kind of clunky. These are out of the way.
So you find your favorite spot, it's time to anchor your boat. All of the ground tackle, including the power windlass, comes standard on the D36. Note that the anchor drops from a roller cantilevered beyond the stern, avoiding complicated launching devices some boats have that can fail. To the right is a simple up and down switch, and there's plenty of space to get your arms down in the locker to untangle snarls. Next to it also is these nice stainless pop-up cleats. So, a usable front space, easy peasy, no problem at all. Shelley's got a lot going on right now. Shelley?
On the bow, there's a large sun pad big enough for at least 3 people. The gunnel height up here is 21 inches and the walkway is 15 inches wide. And we actually have 62 inches of freeboard from the water line to the gunnels That gives us a lot of space to be up and out of the water and push the waves away from us while we're running. And outboard, they have these cool little fender clips that hold lines in place. On both port and starboard, D'Antonio has clever cutouts in the gunnels to stow their flat fenders. This is a pretty cool idea because these fenders are easy to access, they are lightweight, and they hardly take up any room. You can see that large windshield, that full windshield all the way up to the top, which we were very happy about having today. And then you also have the windshield wipers on both sides. Moving aft, let's go check out the cockpit. One 5-inch step down and you're back in the cockpit. There are grab rails almost everywhere underneath the large hardtop. Again, we have that electrically actuated sunroof up above, and there is a glass piece up above the seating configuration. This hardtop is optional. Standard is a soft top. Either one serves the purpose. Underneath this glass panel, there's a sink and an induction cooktop. Down below, I have storage, and to either side, there is refrigeration. So our test boat has 2 fridges. You can opt for a ice maker or just storage as well. There's a drawer just for storage in the center, and down below, they've added additional seating and storage. So you can pick this up, put things in there, flip it over, and now you got a little bench seat. I don't know, Eric, what do you think? Time for lunch?
I think it's a great time for lunch. I have a little bell here. Can I ring for the butler? We're on a D'Antonio. It's pretty luxurious as we're talking here today, so I'm waiting for the guy to bring me my stuff. I'm right here. Let's do it.
Well, it's a nice C-shaped seating configuration. Easily seats 5 or 6. I really like that they've extended the hardtop all the way back.
They didn't go cheap on the cushioning material. It's nice, it feels soft but still firm enough. It's nice and thick as well. So they didn't cut any corners on the upholstery at all.
I should add that there are 10 different color choices of upholstery.
D'Antonio did tell us too that it comes with a large package of covers. So even the hardtop has a cover, all of these seats and cushions are going to be protected, so that cushion upholstery fabric that you like so much will stay protected from the elements. Other options that D'Antonio offers include 14 different flexi-teak deck choices, which are simulated teak but in different shades and colors of faux caulking. You can also select 2 gray hull colors in addition to white.
So I'm relaxed, the wind's blowing, beautiful day's going, and there's more to do here.
Let's clean up and see what the rest of the cockpit has to offer.
Can't wait, let's do it. Where is the mechanical area? Right below our lunch area. Basically, you pull up this pad right here. I don't know, this space looks mighty tight down below. I think Captain Shelley might be a better fit. Shelley, why don't you get on down there and show us around?
It's a little awkward getting down here, but once you're in, it's not so bad. On the port side, there is a 3.5 kW whisper power diesel generator. All your battery management system is over here, including the house batteries. Forward is one of the fuel tanks, and the center line is the water tank. I have easy access to all bilge pumps and through hulls. And on the starboard side, there is the hot water heater and access to some of the AC systems. And on the other side, there's a pretty large storage compartment. Let's go check that out.
Why am I not surprised to find you down in there?
I'm a very curious guy, Shelley, and I'm just down here looking around a little bit. But I discovered this amazing large space down here below. 6.5 feet long below me, 2 feet wide, almost 5 feet to the top.
If you're planning to go ashore, this space can service as a tender garage. It can even handle an inflated 6-foot soft bottom inflatable, or even a larger one if you roll it up and inflate it with an electric pump. It's also good for water toys, wakeboards, and the like. A strong fabric meshes between it and the outboard motors, so I wouldn't put anything down there such as PFDs that you don't want to get wet.
I'm behind these hidden outboards. It's just a neat space to have on your boat and very, very functional.
Yeah, so it is a wet space, so you wouldn't necessarily want to put anything down here that you don't want to get wet, but it also gives you access to those engines that are hidden under the sun pad. Let's check those out.
Do it. Probably the most happy place to be, the weather's great like today, is on this nice large sun pad. It's 88 by 80, so plenty of space. I could basically go up here myself and just kind of lay down and stretch out, and you know what? It's all just so comfy and convenient. And it's a material model with diamond cut pattern. looks really, really sharp. Shelley?
On starboard, there's the fuel fills as well as water. Looks like there's boarding gates on both sides, and I see the push buttons to lift this hatch to gain access to the engines. Let's check those out.
The outboards are hidden down below. So many great benefits from them being out of the way. Number one is reduce the noise inside the cockpit. You don't hear the engines going. Normally they're quiet as they are, but they really are quiet. It's a closed space. You reach on down here, you can actually access your oil fill check on both sides by the flap on top of your Mercury, very convenient. And again, think about this, with no stern drive propellers coming out with an IL, for example, there's nothing for the kids to get their feet tripped on. The propellers are way inside. Mom and Dad don't worry about the kids down below swimming off of this ladder right here, by the way. So there's protection built in. It has a common sense factor, also a big safety factor as well. Shelley?
Well, and you have this large platform back here. So it's 134 inches wide by 35 inches deep. And like you said, you know, this extension off the back really keeps you away from those propellers. So I'm not worried about cutting my toes. On any other outboard boat, I'd be standing in the water right now or sitting on the engines. This is such a cool use of space. So we can still walk all the way around and have the flexibility of an outboard boat and have the aesthetic. You know, some people just don't like the look of outboard motors hanging off the back of a boat. So this kind of gives you the best of both worlds.
Love it.
Making a good thing even better is the fact that these engines can be tilled up completely out of the water. So you don't have to put this boat up on a lift to prevent lower unit corrosion.
Perhaps this would be a good time to add the D36 comes with several engine options. We like the 400s, but BoatTest has enough experience with vessel displacement for us to say we think you'll find the 300s or 350s quite satisfactory. Shelley, show us below.
4 pretty good sized steps down into the main atrium space. I have 6 feet 7 inches of headroom up above. On the starboard side is the head, and there's a sink, electric toilet, and it is a wet head, so there's a separate shower receptacle in there. Storage down below. And on the port side is the electrical panel. So you have all of your AC stuff on one side, DC on the other. You also have access to all of your battery switches right there in a nice hidden compartment. Just a little forward of that is the controls for the Whisper power generator and a little control for all the LED lights that you see up above. So you can do blue, red, green, whatever your heart desires.
Remember that the D'Antonio D36 is primarily a day boat, so the spaces down here are used differently than they would be if this was a cruising vessel. For example, the forward cabin is a good place to duck down into during a passing summer rain shower. Guests can sit around comfortably, there are windows that let in light, and outlets to power smartphones and other devices. If kids want to take a nap, they can hop up on the front of the bed, and if Dad wants a siesta, Eric shows that all it takes is the push of a button and the seat transforms into the foot of the bed.
My favorite space on the boat is actually back here in this lounge kind of living room. So many times in the afternoons in South Florida, you get stuck in these rainstorms and everybody has to huddle downstairs and awkwardly sit on beds. So I like that they've turned this into more of a living room space where everybody has kind of their own designated spot to sit, lean back, and converse while we wait out the rain. But it can still be a berth. You got a refrigerator down below, and right above it, you can slide this all the way forward. And the cushions that act as backrests actually go in as filler cushions, and then you have a nice big berth. I had a pretty good day today.
I had a great day. When I got the wheel eventually from you, Shelley, I must say those 2400 Mercuries pushed this boat really well.
As we motored back to the D'Antonio dock in the Miami River, I couldn't help but think that the company has packed a lot of features into this boat for a very good price. They've been able to do that by making most things standard that you need and keeping the options list short.
When we left the dock this morning, the joystick piloting was tuned in pretty good, so those slow speed maneuvers were pretty good, but then once we got her out there, she really performed admirably. I think all in all, it's been a pretty good day. Let's head up the Miami River and take this one home.
Let's do it. I'm Captain Eric Brandon.
And I'm Captain Shelley for Boat Test. This has been our full features review and performance inspection of the D'Antonio D36.
And remember, life was always better
on a boat.